Two hoodies can use exactly the same fabric, but one is being charged at $40 a hoodie by brand, and then another one at $140 a hoodie. Is brand A charging a fair price at $40 and brand B is ripping you off? Well, sometimes that could be the case, but sometimes you could theoretically have the same exact specification of fabric, but the details are what matters. Because a hoodie in a customer experience goes beyond just what fabric you have on the care label or on the tag. It comes down to the quality of the construction, the quality of the fit, the reinforcement of the product, what trims are being used, how the product is packaged, ultimately how long the product lasts. What creates that additional value doesn't just come in the big decision of the fabric. It comes in all of the small, thousands of smaller decisions around how the fabric is supported, how it fits, how it lasts, and how it's presented to the customer. So if you're on the path to wanting to build a premium and luxury brand, to be able to take yourself out of the rat race of the bottom of the barrel branding and pricing, this is going to be the episode where I take you through my definitive guide on what details to focus on to create and to justify the pricing of a premium, high quality, unique, different hoodie that's going to set you apart from the competition, that's going to allow you to continuously provide value to the customer, and that's going to create a hoodie that is difficult for others to replicate, not because it's rocket science, but simply because you knew the thousands of small pockets of value to look into and to perfect before going to market. And without further ado, my name is Shadi Adada. I'm the co-founder and the creative director of FittDesign, the world's first sportswear design agency. Over the last 10 years, we've worked with literally thousands of brands to help them go from an idea to a physical product. And I know a thing or two about what distinguishes your run-of-the-mill hoodie from a hoodie that really lands. And this is something that we've driven forward with thousands of the brands that we work with that are in this space. So without further ado, let's get right into the episode. Number one is that we have to understand that the same fabric specification doesn't necessarily mean the same fabric performance. You can have a 80% cotton, 20% polyester, 400 GSM fleece fabric, and when you compare them side by side, you notice that they are completely different. Number one is because there's different types of polyester. There's higher grades of polyester with a lot more lustrous, with a finer touch and feel. There's higher grades of cotton. Are we using a long staple cotton? Are we using double combed cotton? Are we using Pima cotton? Also, when it comes to the fleecing, there are a variety of different ways that you can fleece. You can have your standard brush fleece that ultimately creates these balls of fibers on the inside of the garment, which we all know and we all hate. Or you can have a micro brush fleece, which has a process of fleecing the inner surface, creating a much finer, more lustrous and much silkier and smooth texture, but still giving that fleece finish without over agitating to the fibers where they get to the point where they end up causing the fabric to fall apart. At the same time, what are the finishes that we put on top of the fabric? Are we applying a anti-odor finish? Is there any sort of washing that we're doing to the garment? Is it, a piece dyed fabric? Is it a roll dyed fabric? Is it a yarn dyed fabric? Those are the different ways in which you're bringing color into the garment. If you notice, a lot of the cheap entry-level brands, especially the bottom of the barrel, they tend to do what is known as garment dyeing, where the garment is done and then it's put into the vat and it's dyed per piece. What that allows them to do is it allows them to make a decision at the end of the process what color they want to dye the fabric, so there's the least amount of commitment. The brands that really create high quality, custom, unique, start with the yarn up. They yarn dye the fabric, so that way when it's knit or woven into the finished fabric, the color doesn't wear away. You don't see any color on the edges or the seams between where the garment was dyed, and it's something that's going to last. For you, a great balance would be either roll dyed where the actual fabric is dyed, or ultimately this is going to be your best bet, and this is the balance that we go for. So the fabric is dyed from the grayish into the color that you want, and then it's cut. This gives you the advantage of having a rich, deep color without having to go too far into the chain or the supply chain and pick your color before you even know what yarn you're using or what final composition you're using. Another way is the functional finishes that we apply. Do we have an anti-odor finish? Do we have a moisture wicking finish? Do we have some sort of wash that makes the fabric softer and more supple to the touch? So now you can see that the fabric composition that you see on a tag isn't the be all end all and doesn't tell the entire story. Number two is that fit is also where pricing starts to show. Chances are if your product is created based off of an existing ODM template that a factory will have, you don't have control over the fit, which means that you may want to go for a boxier fit with a more cropped length to be able to appeal to a specific type of customer. But because you're going for a bottom of the barrel hoodie, you end up having to compromise on fit. The factory has an existing block fit, and max, you are able to remove a couple inches off the center back, tailor in the sleeve a little bit, but you really cannot create something substantial. It's kind of like the difference between going with an off-the-rack suit and building something that's completely bespoke. When you build something bespoke, you know that it's a one-on-one fit specifically for your customer. That allows you to build your unique fit from the ground up, which is also why some of those higher end brands that you really look up to, when you see the products on the models, when you see them in the creative, you really understand that this is something that isn't your run-of-the-mill fit. And even if you try to replicate it, you wouldn't understand why those decisions are taken. So the fit is key, and the fit consistency is key. Because if you're going off of a standard pattern and you make some adjustments, well, what's to say that may look fine on a size medium, but maybe on a size 2XL, that adjustment that you made on the chest or on the length throws the garment off of proportion, which ends up making it look weird on a 2XL. That's why higher quality garments have the fit work from the ground up specifically, and then a master pattern maker scales or grades up the patterns up and down to make them proportional. It's not simply just taking an existing pattern or an existing sizing specification and then butchering it to try to make it fit some sort of vision or some sort of identity. Number 3 is that the construction or the hidden details in your garment is going to dictate how the garment is not only going to look on first glance, but also how it's going to age. The number 1 marker of a high quality garment is not what you see on the outside, it's what you see on the inside. If you were to take 2 hoodies that are identical in fabric, but one is of a much lower price point, physically because of the production, and one has more time and attention paid to it, you'll notice the finishing on the inside is a lot cleaner and a lot more reinforced on the inside of the higher quality hoodie. You'll notice that there's no frayed edges, there's no loose threads. All of the seams on the inside either have an overlocking stitch with a side stitch that helps them to lay flat. That way the fabric on the inside isn't floating about and causing issues with, it's not rashing up the surface of the skin, it's not irritating, and it's creating a seamless look and feel. And that added top stitch, yes, takes more time because you have another worker that comes in, applies that additional layer of stitching, but it reinforces the fabric, it reinforces the cuffs, it allows the garment to be used and abused more readily in a way that is going to help it look just as good as day 1 on day 100 versus the garment that is not reinforced. All the seams are open on the inside, meaning that you might have frayed edges, you may have loose threads, you may have unenforced or unreinforced edges on the edges of your pocket. So that way, through repeated wear and tear, you end up removing the stitching of the pocket as your hand goes in and out of the pocket, causing wear and tear and stress on those seams. And this is the difference between a hoodie that you come back to in a year, you've paid $140, but you really feel that every single wear that you're getting out of it is just as good as day 1 versus the hoodie that you might buy once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and then you throw out. If you look at the cost per wear, this is what a lot of the value-based brands are going after. It's not about the initial investment, it's over the life cycle of the garment. Have you gotten enough wears out of it to justify the price? That's why people are always willing to pay more for the right product, because if you pay less and you get the wrong product, you end up paying twice, which ends up being more costly in the long run. Number 4 is that the trims, the branding, and the finishing of the garment can actually change the whole impression. You can have a great quality garment with great quality stitching, but if the trims that are supporting the garment don't actually build that value, there's a mismatch there. What do I mean by this? A hoodie alone is not just the fabric. A hoodie is the stitching, but it's also the label that's on the inside of the neckline. It's also the quality of the printing. It's also the quality of the stitching. It's the quality of the rib that is on the wrist and the waistband. If the quality of those trims doesn't match the quality of the fabric, then again, there's a mismatch there. And chances are, the garment that has that higher price point, that has that more time and attention put into, should have higher quality trims and higher quality accessories that complete the experience. Because if you have an experience that only goes 80%, 90% of the way there, then a customer is going to feel cheated. And it's in that last 20% that you really make your mark and you make a product difficult to replicate. This means the woven label that has a nice satin touch to it and has high density woven embroidery on the inside. This means the rib cuff that doesn't lose its shape over a couple washes. This means the print that doesn't crack, that doesn't fade, that doesn't peel. This means the fabric finishing that consistently creates a soft and supple touch every single time you wear it and doesn't lose its luster after a couple of washes. Number 5 comes down to the quality control, because you can have a great sample, but if your quality control pricing isn't baked into your pricing model, aka you're not able to work with a factory that has an accredited quality control system where they can consistently replicate the same level of fit and finish across 100 pieces, 500 pieces, 1,000 pieces, because they're a factory that has the systems in place, that has the technology in place, that has the structure in place, and has the actual legwork that they've done up front in place to make sure that that quality is replicable. Because you'll see this with a lot of low-level factories. They have great sample makers because it's a very human-focused approach, and any sample maker can actually create a great first sample to secure an order of thousands and thousands of units or thousands of dollars. But the challenge is what happens when you take that one unit and you put it across a full production line that's not automated, that doesn't have technology, that doesn't have quality control. What happens then? If you spend your money into a product that cannot be replicated at the same level, that pricing shows there. And usually that comes down to the factory. A factory that is going to be worth its salt and able to replicate the quality of the product that you're looking for is going to charge you a higher price because that's baked into their model. A factory that is just looking to get you one great sample and then throw a Hail Mary from there, hoping that the remaining products are going to come out, chances are you can get a better price, but you end up paying for it later. So you need to make sure that there's clear quality assurance, that you are being shipped production samples once the order is done. You have a pre-production sample that's made and approved before you move into bulk. You have an inspection report that's sent to you before the shipment happens with all the measurements against the pre-production approved sample. And ultimately, you receive your production samples, which is a small range of products across a variety of sizes from the actual bulk production order, to be able to see from the actual bulk production if they've been able to match the quality, the tolerance, the sizing, the fit of the approved pre-production sample. So when someone says that a $40 hoodie and a $140 hoodie essentially use the same exact fabric composition, they may be right. But we've understood from this episode that it's not the fabric composition alone that drives value in a product. And we haven't even discussed customer service, website, packaging, returns, all of the additional elements and marketing that go into crafting and curating a great branding experience. We're simply looking at product versus product. And if you guys want to learn how you can find these small pockets of added value that you can add to future products, whether it's a running short, whether it's a pair of leggings, then you can check the link in the description to apply to work with us one-on-one. And within 5 minutes, we'll get back to you with a personalized production roadmap that can help you go from an idea to a physical product in under 30 days. And guys, I say this from the very bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of FittDesign TV. Until next week's episode, stay awesome.